OmniFocus, omnichannel, the path to value. So this was an interesting McKinsey report, and I think that, in some respects, it has some kind of aspects to it that are like a big duh, but I think that they're a smart big duh, and they really point to the fact that, ultimately omnichannel is critical now. It's not on the bleeding edge of anything. It quite literally is a requirement for success. So somebody says, omnichannel, we're thinking about doing omnichannel, like your conversation's a little late, you need to hurry up on that one a little bit. But there's kind of a hurry up and a wait aspect to it. And that's what I think that they kind of unpack in here, is that they say a lack of clarity hobbles many efforts. And I think that this is really emblematic of a lot of ways that technology is employed. Salesforce is a good example. You buy Salesforce, you think this is going to help me with my sales funnel, which it can. This is going to help me with my sales process, which it can, right? But it comes at a very generic out of the box type of deal. You need to configure it, which means you still have to address those issues, and you'll use that technology as a platform and a medium. And that's what they're saying. They're saying, look, there's an unclear understanding of what parts of the omnichannel to prioritize. So that's a big thing that companies are doing. They focus on the tech rather than on the customer value. So kind of like the form function kind of aspect of it. They grab the tech, see how they can apply it. They can connect it into their web page, et cetera, et cetera. But they really haven't solved the problem. And there's a failure to sequence investments in line with strategy. So they're really, that they're talking about the investment in each component of the customer journey as you're using omnichannel, whether you're thinking about how we're going to escalate, from something that's a chat bot into a chat into a voice conversation. That whole aspect is not really clearly defined. And so this is really all coming back to you have to have a strategy, you have to have a process for exploration of what your customer journey is, and you have to have a mindset for constant reinvention. So I think that they say chart your ambition. I kind of like that. I like that, chart your ambition, which means that you're going to have to roll up your sleeves a bit.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna take this a different direction. I'm gonna apply this to something that I was reading up on this week. I was reading up on InsurTech. So I was reading up on InsurTech companies and the struggle that they're having facing this omnichannel focus, right? The lack of it. And you think about dealing with your insurance company in any regard. It's one of those, typically it's one of those painful experiences that we all just kind of deal with. We got to do it. Sometimes you end up on a phone call that takes 20 minutes when really I could have just clicked a button and done in 2 minutes.
True.
But sometimes if you try to direct me to your chat bot, and I'm asking a simple question that your chat bot doesn't understand, I just need the phone call. So it's understanding, it's being able to know that me as a customer, I started here, I started in chat, that got me here. I need to be on a phone call. But then when I'm done with that phone call, I don't need to spend 30 minutes talking to you about this. I just need to fill out a form and click a button over here while I'm talking to your agent. It doesn't need to be this whole drawn out process. You need to meet me where I'm at and be able to make that experience as frictionless as possible.
So true. I'm going through a Wharton Immersive right now, that, and Kyle, and there's this concept of high complexity, right, low complexity. And on the low complexity side, that's where you want to press a button.
Yes.
On the high complexity side, you want to get into a conversation with a human.
Yes.
It's really you cannot architect for that unless you know what those conversations are all about, which gets back to the devil's in the details.
Exactly. But don't make me talk to you for 20 minutes for a low complexity item, because I'm on the next renewal. I'm shopping.
That's right. Exactly. Yeah.
Now, that's not to say you're going to wake up one day and say, we've arrived, we've adapted. It's a constant struggle and a constant battle to continuously adapt.
We've adapted. We're there.
Yeah. That doesn't exist.
Well, there's a great saying that kind of builds on what you just mentioned, which is how do you open up a small business? You open up a big